The defending champs in the Big 12, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, 12-2 a season ago, and looking to run it back in 2026. Let's get a look at what Joey McGuire's team will deal with in 2026. ACU, Oregon State, Sam Houston State, their three non-conference games. They open up the conference slate on September 19th against Houston.
I think Tech ended up with one of the more favorable draws in the schedule for 2026. When you look at the conference draw, where they're going on the road, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, and Baylor late in the year. That Baylor game may ultimately end up being the most important game of the season for the Red Raiders. Obviously, Brendan Sorsby coming over from Cincinnati, I think is likely an upgrade at the quarterback spot. And for Texas Tech, it really is going to come down to what can they replace on that defensive line and that defensive front from a year ago that was so dynamic and so good for the Red Raiders. I think they'll reload. I think we should expect Texas Tech to be back and competing for the Big 12 again next season. And again, a huge piece that helps them. I think they got one of the more favorable draws in terms of conference play in the schedule next year in 2026.
Well, because they've got their hardest games, or certainly three of their hardest games, Houston, Arizona State, Arizona, all on their home field. That is a big boon for Joey McGuire's team.
There's no doubt. And having a guy that comes in and Brendan Sorsby that has a ton of experience. And Cincinnati, the challenges that they faced late in the year, Brendan Sorsby in a lot of ways I thought was having to be Superman for the Bearcats. And in the month of November, I think people started to figure out how to slow down Sorsby and that Cincinnati offense. He'll have more weapons around him in Lubbock. And I think having a veteran quarterback with a favorable schedule, it all sets up really nicely for Texas Tech. And I think those Texas Tech fans should have a lot of optimism that that wasn't just a one-hit wonder last season. They've got a chance, really a good chance to repeat as champions in 2026.
The whole world knew that Texas Tech got Brendan Sorsby because Cody Campbell got the billboard in Times Square to let everybody know about it. They're fired up to have that kid in Lubbock. We mentioned it earlier with the finish to Cincinnati season not going well, and he was obviously a part of that at the very least. What do you think the motivation is for Sorsby to show, hey, I'm the guy from the 7-1 stretch, not the 0-5 finish?
I think he's going to have plenty of motivation. You don't really need more motivation than getting to go to a place in Texas Tech where this was their number one guy. And they went after him in a big way, got him to get on campus in Lubbock and didn't let him leave. And now for Texas Tech, there's also motivation again in not letting last season in 2025 be a one-hit wonder, because they're trying to establish this is an every year kind of thing now. We want to consistently compete at this level, and having that level of quarterback, I think, is a big part of why you should expect Texas Tech to have a similar run next year that they did in 2025.
And oh, by the way, he goes to Cincinnati on October 24th to play his old team. That will be an awful lot of fun for everybody to take in. Defensively, they do bring in a bunch of transfers that should be helpful. A 5-star freshman edge rusher coming in LaDamian Guyton, so they're restocking the shelves on that side of the ball as well.